Welcome back to your very feel-good breakfast show this morning. Of course, we are buzzing with excitement. We are brimming with purpose. Why? Because we are officially kickstarting Hopetober, something that has huge significance just for this purpose-driven show, yes, but moreover for the entire country. And brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, the sponsors of Brave, who make it their life's purpose to support not only those working on the front lines, but the rest of us who need to rely on hope to look forward, to stand back up again. Those small acts of kindness, of resilience, of sharing just a moment with someone else can have a far-reaching effect. And building hope is not just about having the hope of the future, but working towards achieving that. Now, someone who tirelessly, literally runs around after criminals all day and those that need to be caught in the net is, I think, one of the unicorns for me, not just within her industry, but within South Africa. And we owe her a huge debt of gratitude, and she embodies what it is to be brave. So my mini studio audience, can we put our hands together for Devi, Sankaree, Govender, one of the best investigative journalists and human beings the world has ever known.
Thank you, thank you.
And I can say that with authority because I'm old enough to have tracked so many of your milestones through your career. So thank you so much for doing what you do every day. I absolutely love you for that. I've got to ask, yesterday you were probably running around chasing criminals. How are you?
I'm okay. So I was West Rand and East Rand yesterday. I just want to let you know.
And now they have all moved to the northern suburbs now because you've chased them out of the East Rand and the West
I'll
Rand.
go there too.
Why do this? When we talk about bravery, you've got to embody that fortitude every day. What's your why?
Because we all deserve a better country. We all deserve to live in a country where we're all safe, and we deserve to live in a space where we can just do our thing and not worry about what's around the next corner. I've always had that purpose thing, always.
Yeah, but all of us should have that. What's the difference with you? Why are you out there risking your life literally every day to achieve that?
Because I knew I could. Simple answer. I was always like this from the time I was little. That feeling of wanting to see justice. And, you know, you're growing up in rural KwaZulu-Natal, I just knew. There was something about it. I can't even begin to tell you what it was. I just knew.
It's your purpose.
My purpose.
And I love the fact that South Africa is now hanging its hat on purpose. And it feels like a golden era for us. It feels like we're entering into the best time. And I suppose I'm old enough to have lived through a few times to understand the relevance of this. But I'm dying to ask you, has there been a moment where you didn't just think, but you knew you had maybe gone too far? What is the bravest you've had to be in your job?
So I think in my kind of job, you always get like the new next brave.
Yeah.
So your first new brave was the first time I got clapped. Oof. So that was my new brave.
Who would dare? Who would dare?
Well, you know, right at the very beginning, in the very olden days, the first clap, and I was with a group of people, and it was at an appliance repair shop in Durban, the old Berea Road. They locked us in and they clapped us. And I remember thinking, well, it's going to happen again, so you either go big or go home. Yeah. So that was my first new brave. And then there were new limits being set as you moved along. I mean, state capture was a whole other new brave when we started exposing a whole kind of
layers to the risk. Yeah.
Wonderful information that we were exposing at the time. There will always be different limits of brave.
I love the way that you've framed that, because for South Africa, it's the same. As we deal with one trauma, as we handle one set of baggage, we move on to the next. And there is a generation of young South Africans that are ready. I think they are purpose-driven. Something has changed. There's magic in the water right now.
True.
So we have an opportunity when Hopetober arrives, and you can see how excited I get, because I can see the knock-on effect. Yeah. When Adcock Ingram OTC, officially the sponsors of Brave, which I love, chose you as an ambassador, why did you answer that call? What are you hoping to achieve?
It was such a natural fit for me, because I kept thinking, I've been in this game for over 30 years, a long, long time. And I kept thinking, I can't be one of a handful of people that's doing the brave thing. I've been looking for a partner that I could twin with, where we could just disseminate the information and get everyone to realize you can be brave too.
Get into the nuance of it, the small things.
In your own circle. You don't need a television show to be brave. You don't need this massive platform, because that's what everybody thinks you need so that you can be brave. But you can lead in your own environment.
Yes.
In a small way.
I love that. So as Devi, and following on from that, to light that Devi fire, okay, in whatever space they're in, what advice do you have for the South African waking up this morning, embracing their day, no matter what that might look like, and how insurmountable that might look like? What advice do you have this Hopetober for South Africa?
If you see the nonsense, call it.
Yo.
Say something about it. Don't go home and say something about it. Say something about it there.
Yes.
Guys, this is not right. And say why. And that's it. You don't have to have a fight about it or create some kind of tension. Just say it's not right. And the more of us do that, it starts to grow after a while.
Well, you make it a lot easier for us to do it because you take those hard yards. I love you. I love what you represent, and the fact that you just said you've been doing this for 30 years and you still seem like you are barely even hitting your straps yet.
Still loving it.
Exactly. Well, I think we are entering our prime in this space. As broadcasters, we have the opportunity to spread this on another level, but we need the likes of Adcock Ingram, OTC, to answer that call and literally put their money where their mouth is, and not in some kind of marketing-driven way, but in a real way. Actually connect with people, get the ambassadors who are going to make their mark. That is social impact. And I think you can understand why we are so excited for today. So don't stray too far, because Hopetober is continuing, well, not just for the next 2.5 hours, but for the rest of this month, and it is golden.
There is a month of hope, brought to you by Adcock Ingram OTC, sponsors of Brave, inspiring communities, one pharmacy at a time.